score, high quartile papers.
Reporting has been reviewed.
So this is what our common, we used to do that. We will be choosing only based on the impact factor, site and the quartile, Q1, Q2, Q3. So those things we used to see, but we will be ignoring the basic. So submitting without reading aims and scope of the recent articles. For example, without knowing their aim or scope of the journal, if when we are selecting the journal, definitely it will not match with the journal theme. If our paper is not related to the thing, definitely it will go for rejections, or it will be published near wrong place. So trusting the unsolicited journal invitation emails, just like that, we are every day we are receiving so many emails. Canada, US, UK, you are invited to publish that journal, this conference. There are so many things. So when you are selecting that, don't just like that, where whatever the emails you receive, don't send your papers. It is not the right platform, maybe. So ignoring the articles processing charges and open access policies. So all this will also the factors, and submitting the same manuscript to more than one journal. So as I told you, you have to keep the backup journals, but it doesn't mean that you have to submit your paper into one time to all the 2 or 3 journals, which is not the right way, because all the 3 or acceptance, what you will be doing. So again, you are into the like confusion. Again, you have to go for the selection process. So just to send to the paper to the particular journal after looking into all the theme and everything, then wait for their reply, and then based on that you can. So you're not preparing a second or third option. So you have to keep the second or third option, but not at the same time. So it has to go on a chronological or sequential way. So the scholar receives an email saying, "Dear author, publish your research in 7 days." So publishing in 7 days, definitely it is highly questionable. So you have to check the Scopus indexing and all other things. If it provides the official source of link, we can check, and then we can submit. So the editorial board is vague, and this APC or this factors all will be hidden factors, and the scope covers every discipline. So in that case, it is risky. So they will say, you whatever the journal, whatever the theme, whatever the topic you have, title you have, you can submit the journal, they will say. So that is not the way you have to select the journal. So it should be properly checked with their, whether it is matching to your title, the scope of the journal is matching to your title, and you have to check whether the factors, indexing factors, Scopus indexing factors through their official source link. Then you have to proceed. Otherwise, it is better to wait and go for the search of the journal. So the scholar should verify the journal through official database before responding to it, because many scams are happening. Your papers will be taken and it will be published in others' name. Even sometimes it is not, you're not aware about that. So be careful when you're doing your selection. So the manuscript, when you're doing, so write the working title and one sentence contribution statement, and list the like 5 to 8 core words. So when you're selecting the title or writing the title, start writing the core keywords. 5 to 10 keywords when you write. Then it is easy for you to search the journals. So identify the discipline, subtitles, method, the various theories and context and all this. Then when you are preparing your manuscript, so clarify the article with the original search, review of whether you are going to do with the original search, or we are going to with your case study based or conceptual paper or any. So some constraints will be there: indexing requirements, APC budgets, and then deadlines, and the word count, open access. All this we have to keep in the mind. So for example, the title with the metaverse brand experiences and the luxury purchase intention. So the contribution of this paper explains how impressive the brand clues influence the consumer's inspiration, brand coolness, and purchase intention. So what is the method or research methodology we are going to use, or this tools we are going to use? PLSM. And what is the context? It is based on the luxurious purchase or luxurious brand customers. So the target journal should therefore, before publishing, it should be a digital marketing and then consumer behavior. These title can go into the journal based on the digital marketing, consumer behavior, luxurious branding, technology enabled retail, and quantitative methods. So not just like that. So you have to find these are the keywords which can suit to this title, and based on these keywords you can type and you can search the journal. So these keywords which are matching with the journal's scope, we can search the journal. So there are some criterions when you're selecting the journals. So when you're there are almost 8 criterions I have listed. Out of this, at least minimum 5 to 8 criterions, if it is matching I mean, like matching with your journal selection. Of course, all 8 cannot match. If at least maximum, if it matches, it can go for those type of journals. So read the journal's official aims of scope and the scopes carefully. So definitely, when you, as I told you before, you have to read the journal's official aim and scope of their journal. Check whether the journal accepts your article type, what type of article you are publishing, whether they are that type of article, whether it is accepted. Access whether the topic, method, contribution fit to the journal conversation, because when the journal it has various articles, it should have the link or it should have the connectivity. Then only the audience will interested to subscribe the journal, cite the journal, and they will sometimes, if it is a paid journal, when they pay the money, they have to get the all the access to the journal, so which will enable them to, if it is in the flow of scope, I mean, if it is matching to the scope only, it will be useful for them. So the review the recent issues to see the journal actual published. So there we have various publications. So collect their various issues and see how their issues and how their connectivity, all this before publishing. Look for the editorial and special issues that show the journal priorities. So editorial board and other things also we have to take care. So the AI, I mean, an example, the manuscript with an AI in higher education may appear suitable for any educational journal. It is not only the educational journal, also it can go for some AI technology journals, AI based technology or AI learning technology journals also we can. But we have to focus the educational journal, it should not be based on the school curriculum. So any educational journal which is focusing on the school curriculum may not be suitable for our AI in higher education. What is the meaning AI in higher education? AI technologies or tools used in colleges and higher education. Higher education comes under the colleges and the universities. So that will not match. So our focus should be the journal that would be published with the higher education in higher education management, educational technologies in higher education, learning analytics in higher education, and digital transformation or AI ethics or AI technologies in universities and higher education. So when you're selecting the journal, it should be exactly matching with your core areas of your topic. The second criterion which which I identified as the reader and the audience fit. So whatever the journal, I mean, like wherever we are the journal, whichever the journal which we are publishing, it should go to the right audience. I feel that it should go into the right audience. Then only the citations index will be increasing. So identify who should read, cite, and your use your article. The researcher may expect the theory and methodology rigor. So usually sometimes I will be looking into the taking some article, because if I'm I want to know to write the research methodology for any particular topic. I take the related journal and I will see what are the as an audience, I mean to say, I will check their methodology, what they used, what are the tools they have used or mentioned, what type of analysis they have kept. So I will not look into many things. I will be into the journals only. I will look into the methodology part of the journal, or of all the articles which is published in the journal. So it should fit with the audience. So identify who should read, cite, and use your article. Researchers may expect theory and methodologies, and practitioners may expect practical recommendation, and policymakers may expect regulatory and governance implication. Interdisciplinary readers may need simpler framing and broader implication. So each one, the readers will not be the same. Each one will identify, or each one will identify the your journal, or sorry, your article in the journal based on their requirement. As I gave you, if I am a researcher, I will look into the what are the various methodologies they have used in the scope of journal or scope of their studies. Then when if I'm a practitioner practicing the AI, so what are the recommendations they have given in the AI technologies, teaching technologies, all these things. If I'm a policy maker, for example, being a policy maker at our college level, AI for students assignments, they will submit, they will prepare, they will be completing their assignments, and it will be submitted in a Turnitin, which is a plagiarism and similarity check link. Those days, like 2-3 years before, we used to collect the students' reports, assignments, and we check only the similarity, which is plagiarism check and the similarity check. Now we have the AI check. So plagiarism and similarity, we have certain percentage as the policy, college policy, university policy, 20%, up to 20% of plagiarism is accepted, and similarity should not, similarity should be taken care. So that is our policy. And if it comes to the AI is maximum of 30%, which is only to identify the students learning and idea generation. So only for that we are accepting up to 30%. So the policy makers will also look into these type of journals, and they will see what are the suggestions given by the researchers for before making such policies. Interdisciplinary readers, if you ask me to go and read the AI technology or something, I will be reading for writing my article, not into depth or into very much this one. So they want only the simple meaning. As a interdisciplinary, I need only the simple meaning and very common learning of the topic or the title. So the fintech adoption among SMEs in Oman, when I was doing a paper, can be positioned in different ways. If the focus is theory testing, the technology adoption and information, the journal may be suitable. But if the focus is for the business simplification, because SME means it will come to the small business, and the small and the entrepreneurship journal may fit. If the focus the national development, because it is talking about the one particular nation, so the national development, the policy and the regional development journal may be stronger. So each one, this topic can be fit into any of these three type of journals. Third criterion, if you see the recent article matches. So the search of journal website for your core keywords, you have to read the titles, abstracts, methods, all these are the last 2 years, and you have to identify the take the 2 years of journals, and we have to identify. Check whether the similar topics, methods are accepted. So when the final journal which got published, which is having a similar topic or similar methodology, if it is similar topic and similar methodologies, and it is cited by many people, which means that more audience are trying to look into such topics. So take such topics and find the gap, and then you can so start writing your manuscript. Look at how the articles frame the theory, context, implication. So if your paper uses the PLS SEM in consumer behavior, the target journal should be PLS SEM model where they are using, and the consumer engagement, digital platforms. So such journals you have to take. So the journals has recently published several similar empirical study. It may be better to fit than the other journal that publish only the conceptual essays. So when you're selecting, it should not only that scope only, it should match, it should also match the certain criteria where the recently accepted and published and cited journals you have to select. So indexing and database verification, use the Scopus course of verification, indexing, and Clarivate master journal list, Web of Science coverage, and use the citation reports when journal impact factor is required, and dodge full open access journals. So search by exact title and use, I mean, like ISSN number, that identification numbers, to avoid confusions with similar or cloned journals. As I told you, there are many cloned journals, so you have to clearly identify through their official web sources, official sources, as well as official websites, as well as in the using their ISSN number or ISBN numbers. Being the journal reputation, finding how to find the journal reputation. So editor-in-chief, editorial board members, we can check on the review publisher identity and society affiliations, how with the certain journals will be affiliated to the certain organizations or associations. So we have to identify those journals which will get the more citations. So for example, there are two indexed journals, which is A as an active editorial board, recognized publisher with clear ethical policy, and the article cited by the leading scholars. B is having the indexed, but it is also indexed, but still if you look into the editorial board, it is very unclear and not proper information regarding the editorial board or editorial members. It is not given properly, and poor article quality, and the very broad scope, which means they accept all type of journal, all type of articles, which is not focusing on the scope of the journal. So in that case, if you are identified two journals with this two criteria, then you can go for the journal which is having the active editorial board, and having the clear ethical policy, and having the leading scholars. So metrics and quartiles, if you see, Q1, Q2, Q3, the quartiles, if you see, the common metrics include the journal impact factor, site score, as well as HAR and SNP. And quartile ranks, we know that Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, all the journals, they have the high scope of journals we have. And the quartile ranks journal with categories not across all the fields. So if you are identified as a Q1, is not automatically suitable for every manuscript. So which will be having the very core. If you take the Q1, they will be touching with the high quality core area, and they focus very particularly. They are very particular with their journal scope, and they will not compromise even what it is required. Even that they will not. It is 25 percentile. Q1, Q2, Q3. It talks about the percentile. Even if their your journal is not matching with their percentile, they will not, even a 0.5 percentage, they will not accept, and they will immediately reject the Q1, Q2, Q3. They have their own strength of the scope, and based on that, they will be publishing. So compare the metrics only with the relevant subject categories. So for example, a narrow food packing study may not fit to general science journal, even if the author wants to a Q1 outlet. So even if it is this one, if it is a general science, we cannot go for it. So the food packing, if you want a Q1, any Q1 publication, Q1 Scopus publication, which is focusing on specialized food quality and food processing journal, then it will be fit, and they will be accepting. So other general journals, even if it is a if they say if it is a general science journal, even if they say if it is Q1 and the food packaging, or this one is based on the food science, it's even still they will not accept. So I have given you the quartiles. So Q1 with this 75th to 99%, it's top 25% of the journals, and 50 to 75th percentile, which will be next 25%, and 25 to 49, the 25%, the other 25%, the 0 to 25th, the 4th percentile, when your journal is this one, So it will be very least, like lost 25%. The review time, of course, that is very, very important, because we all need our we are spending, we think that we publish the report, I mean, like we send the article and we feel that it should be published within 1 week or 10 days of time. Of course, it is not possible. A good journal, it will take months, sometimes year. I have even waited 1 year for to get published with Taylor's and Francis and Springer's. All my Springers and this one, it took almost 1 year time of 1 year time to get communication. 8 months to get communication, 1 year time to get published. More than 1 year time to get published. So the average time to first decision and the final decision is available. We have to check the timing. Some journals, they will tell it will be published within this period to this period. Once after the acceptance, it will be published. So you have to check that. So distinguish. You have to find the fast desk decision and fast peer review. Journals you have to identify and you have to do. So consider the online first publication options. Avoid the journals promising guaranteed or instant acceptance. Even that instant acceptance is also not accepted. So any journal which is publishing within 30 days or 2 months or very less number of days, in days after you submit, 7 days acceptance, and next month edition it will be given. Of course, those journals will have we have to check their impact factors also. So those Springers and the elsewhere, and then what it is, Taylor's and Francis, those journals will not publish in very short time or the quick time. So for example, if your scholar needs to publication evidences for their thesis submission in 6 months of time, the journal with average decision of 8 to 10 months may not be practically possible. So however, the same way, the journal which is promising that within 48 hours of acceptance is also not accepted, because it is risky, or maybe for a shorter period of time the article will be available or the journal will be available in the official source. After some years, if you check, it will not be there. So the reasonable time is 4 to 8 weeks, 1 month to 2 months of time. The first edition, if it is coming with a transparent review or review process or acceptance, this one, it is considerably accepted. So APC, which is the article publishing charges, open access and the copyright. So sometimes we need to pay some money for publications. So in that case, if we want, of course, if you have the requirement, the university requirement or the institution requirement, we are publishing each and every year one article or one Scopus, one Springer, or one Q1, Q2, like that. There will be, I mean, like they keep the criteria for us to maintain our performance appraisal, all this thing we will do. So, but it is funded by the institution, or if we are having the funded projects, of course, we can go for the APC article, which will publishing charges we can do, or open access or copyright, we can go for it. Otherwise, those who are they are starting their career, they can go for the free publications. So check the article processing charges, taxes, and currency based on sometimes it will be in rupees or it will be in the dollars. Confirm whether the journal is subscription, open access, or hybrid. Check whether the review waiver. So when you are having the option to review, the reviewer waiver is there, offer is there, or sometimes they will be having universities, they will be having those journals, publishers, they will be having agreement with them to get the publication offers also. And sometimes they have copyrights transfer and Creative Commons licenses also they will be having, and self-archiving rules if you are university or funder requires to deposit. So there is a journal with 2, which is you have selected with all the criteria, and now they are telling you have to pay for journal A $3,000 and has no waiver, and the second journal, it is having no mandatory charges, article publishing charges, and permits accepted manuscript archiving. So they are ready to accept your this one without any charges. If the author has no fund, see, the journal and JNLB you have shortlisted. Now you have to go whether you have to pay journal or you have to go for the free journal. If you are having a funded project, then it is if you feel that all the criteria and everything is very good, you can go for the funded project by paying your by submitting your article for $3,000. In case if it is your own this one, it is not feasible to afford, or you are not ready to pay the $3,000, then it is better to go for the free journals, where it will be having a lesser uh, metrics, Q1, Q2, or some scopers or lesser metrics, but still your paper or manuscript will be published. Author guidelines and formatting, whatever the guidelines proposed by the journal, they will be giving all the writing style, formatting style for tables, figures, all the how it has to be, manuscript has to be submitted to them. You have to submit, you have to follow all those things. So the word count, right from the word count, right from the font, the size, the font style, everything it matters in your manuscript while you are submitting. So you have to follow all the guidelines which is provided by the journal when you are submitting. Otherwise, unnecessary, sometimes they will be revert back or reject your article saying that formatting or this one is not as per the guidelines. Now, when your this one, when your manuscript, highlight the 20 most relevant references in your manuscript and list the journals where these papers are published. So when anyway you will be having references and you have the reference list, and take those references and check where these type of from where you have collected those articles, from which journal you have collected. Identify those journals and check whether those journals recently published with your similar work, which is matching to your manuscript. And do not select only because of the journal appears references verifying it. Also check all the other criteria. Search for the Scopus, Web of Science, and PubMed, ERIC, and other discipline database. Use both. I mean, topic keywords and the methodology keywords to identify the journals, and then identify the recent papers and the recurring journals, and open journal websites for verification, and save whatever the this one. Save all the documents in your hand. Then coming to the cloned, avoiding the risky and the cloned journals. So be cautious of guaranteed acceptance or very fast publication promises. So mostly, I'm just repeating, most of the time the cloned journals will be from, they will say immediately they will accept and they will publish in 1 month of time, 10 days of time, all these things, which are all also called as cloned journal, which will help you for a shorter period of time, but later it will not be available. So for those speedy acceptance, make sure that you are verifying before you're submitting or paying the money. So check whether the journal website has clear peer review and ethical policies, and verify exact title, ISN, and publisher and their URL, payment URLs. So avoid paying through the suspicious email links and before paying or before submitting. So to those type of journals, consult with your librarian, college librarian. Definitely they'll be having the knowledge of the journal and the article, I mean, like journals and the other things, how whether these journals are cloned or the risky, or how far it is genuinity, they will be knowing, so they can guide you. So out of these criteria, score each journal from 1 to 5 on 5 criteria. So from above at least minimum 5 criteria. If it is matching, at least we can go for it. Use the weight if some criteria are more important. If you feel that no, out of this 5, out of 8, 5 is matching, but certain things are not matching, like the last one or the first, second one, like, or which one is this? All are matching except the um, payment link or risky factors. If it is not, if you feel that it is there, then don't go further. So recommended criteria, scope of fit, a recent article, indexing, reputation, cost, speed, and policy fit. So these should be definitely, it should match it. So based on that, they have to keep. So finally, the journal fit paragraph explains why the manuscript belongs to the journal, and they will explain the topic which fit, our method which fit, audience fit, and contribution fit. All should fit and match before you select the journal, and refer to the recent articles and journal scope whether where appropriate. And so I have given some case examples. Just I have given three, at least one I will explain you, because I have to touch the plagiarism also, where it is having it is also a very core area for your manuscript preparation. For example, food science manuscript, strong storage quality of ripe and unripened banana flour. Article type should be original experimental research. It is a experimental research. What could be the methodology? You have to identify audience, food technologies, product developers, all this. So which can where it can be, I mean, which could be the relevant area, journal areas: food processing journals, food quality journals which are having the scope of food processing, food quality, engineering, post thrift, technologies. All this will be the this one. So like this I have given for management one, and education manuscript. All this I have given, but quickly we will go ahead. So before you finalize the thing, final the shortlist, the target should have the strongest fit and acceptability, which is feasibility as well, and should be similar in audience and article type. And third should be safe, credible, and realistic. So please go for, before you shortlist, keep all this in mind before you shortlist the journal, any journal. Do not format for all the journals at once. Don't take all the journals before you do it, and do not submit multiple journals. One article, don't submit in multiple articles. Again, sometimes it will go for a similarity, uh, uh, like of this glitch also. Final submission, the scope fit confirmed through the journal website and recent articles. Official indexing you have to verify. APC open access you have to check. Author guidelines should be followed, like formatting, all these things. Ethical consent, see, very important thing. Whenever you do a research, you have to go for a ethical consent and prepare the document and have the ethical clearance when you are doing a research. So covering letter which is customized with the selection of selected journals and backup journals which is also identified. Keep all this list before you finalize your manuscript. So all these things are resources, recommended resources. You can use it for official websites and other things we can do. So coming to the second part, which is the plagiarism. So as a beginners, some of you may be the beginners, or some of you are in the process or having a confusion how to overcome this plagiarism, because anybody, those who are having even a number of years of experience or a number of years they are doing the research, still they are get stuck in with the plagiarism. So I feel that I'm sure that after this workshop, you might be having the differences, how to identify the similarity and the plagiarism. So if you say that my similarity is 18%, so it is safer. So we say that, as I told you, our students will submit your assignments and they will say, Miss, I find only for 20%. Okay, no problem. But when I open, the similarity is showing 18%. See, shall I tell? Plagiarism is different and the similarity is different. You can have a plagiarism percentage, but you cannot have the similarity, high similarity percentage. Instead, the student can say that my overall similarity is 18%. Most of the matches are from the reference list. If the similarity is in the reference list, no problem. What is the meaning of similarity? Exactly copy paste. Exactly copy paste. Exactly copy paste can be happen only if it is a definition, and if it is as references, anywhere it is, or any formulas or any common terminologies, it can be done. For that only they have given you the certain level of percentage, not to copy some paragraph or some a full thing from any report or any other article. So however, the paragraph has a 7% of continuous match from a single journal article. So I need to rewrite that section. So what does it mean? Out of 18%, so few percentages from the references. Okay, it is accepted. We can say that references we cannot do. All the references will be in particular style, APA style or any particular style where we cannot change it. But continuous writing of a paragraph, a single paragraph, which is having a 7% of similarity, which means I exactly copied 7% from your article. How can it be possible? How can it be accepted? So in that case, that even that 7% is a unethical and it should be considered as a plagiarism, though it is less than acceptable or tolerance, less than the tolerance level. So some students, they will come with the less than the tolerance level. But if you see that less than tolerance level, 18% or 19%, exactly full one paragraph, they will come and argue with me, how is it possible? It is only 18%. How you say it is not accepted? We'll say it is not plagiarism. It is a similarity. Similarity means you have copied from a person. You have copied from an article. So in that case, it cannot be accepted. So please make sure when you're doing, when you're submitting your article, identify whether it is similarity. If it is a similarity, where the similarity occurs. If it is in the references, yes, it is accepted. If it is in a running paragraph or running in between your article with continuous passage, then it cannot be accepted. Is it clear? So suppose a research scholar uploads a thesis with a chapter of the thesis chapter to a plagiarism check, which receives a 28% of similarity, and this number does not prove the plagiarism. So here they say it is 28% of similarity and there is no plagiarism. As I told you, plagiarism is different and similarity is different. So the scholar must examine whether the similarity comes from the references. So when they say it is similarity, they have to check whether the similarity is from where the similarity is from, where they receive the similarity. Is it from the references part or common phrases, or if even the plagiarism or the similarity can be accepted if it is in a proper quotation. I have some examples I will let you. And standard methodologies, some formulas. Standard methodologies can also be some formulas. And copied paragraph without any citation. Similarities can also be can be considered as a plagiarism. Similarity can also be considered as a plagiarism when it is properly cited or with a quoted with some quotations, quoted with the citation, and proper references is also given. So the goal is to identify the high risk of matches, revise them ethically. So why it is we have to identify the matches and revise them, make it correct ethically. Focus is not only reducing the percentage. So when we are doing our article or writing our research work, it is not that it is only not to copy or reduce the percentage, but understanding the similarity report, actually what does it mean. Participants should finish with a clear workflow for checking, interpreting and correcting the similarity issues. So differentiate the similarity percentage from the actual plagiarism. So first thing, we have to identify what is the plagiarism and what is the similarity. As I told you, there will be a percentage called similarity, 28%. We have to identify out of 28 which is the similarity, which is the plagiarism. So plagiarism can be accepted with a proper citation. A similarity which can be considered as a plagiarism, which means any running paragraph which is copied with a citation with the author's name and year and properly reference properly all the details in the reference column, then it is accepted. Then read the similarity carefully and locate the high matches. So the software which we are having, it will identify only the similarity, but we have to use our human common sense to identify whether it is a similarity or the plagiarism. So read the similarity report carefully and identify the high risk matches and reduce the similarity through ethical rewriting, citation, quotation and summarization. So here I talk about the plagiarism. Plagiarism means using someone's words, idea, figures, structure, whatever, their work, their actual work we are using. For example, the definitions. When we are giving some concept, explain the concept, or using the case study, explain the concept we will be giving. The student has to write the definition and then explain. So definitely the definition will be a plagiarized one because it is just a copy paste. So what will happen? It can occur intentionally or unintentionally. I know I kept the definition. It is a copy paste. So intentionally, unintentionally. Unintentionally, we have to rewrite or rework. Intentionally, when I keep such as formulas, formats, or some definitions, when I keep, it should be properly cited and I have to give the references. So it happens in assignment, thesis, manuscripts everywhere. And the plagiarism is not limited to copying the full paragraph. Even copied ideas require citation. Sometimes we will not copy. We will not copy the entire paragraph, or sometimes we will not. Even if you are writing the definition, rewording the definition of X and Y author, then we have to write the author's name and then from which book or which article you have taken, that you have to properly mention. In that case, even if it is highlighted as a similarity, it can be overcome. It can be accepted, ethically, legally accepted. So plagiarism can be overcome by a proper citation. When you give a proper citation, plagiarism is accepted. Similarity which comes under the plagiarism is accepted. They will, so for that reason only they say keep until 30%, 20% or 25% as per the institutional policy. So the student reads a journal article and copies the sentence. So what is happening? One student is reading and he wants to keep certain lines in the article or just some assignment work. Artificial intelligence enables the adaptive feedback on this one. If the student use the same sentences in the assignment without quotation mark, if you see I have used the quotation mark, the student, if he is using this, he has taken this lines from the article. The two options he can do. First thing, either he can revert the lines and keep in his assignment, or he has to write the lines in the quotation. So if the student uses the same sentences in an assignment without quotation and citation, it is a direct plagiarism. Clear? It is direct plagiarism and it is considered as illegal or unethical practice, and it will be considered, it will be highlighted. In case if the student is using the same lines with proper quotation and writing the author's name with the year, citation properly, and then references is also provided, then it is ethical similarity, which is called as plagiarism. So why plagiarism matters a lot? Academic and professional, to face the academic and professional consequences. So plagiarism damages the academic credibility. If being a researcher, scholar, being a lecturer, professors, being teaching this one, we used to tell the students you should not copy. In the same way, if we are copying, what is that? Of course, even the teachers, we are telling them to memorize them poems, memorize the definitions, and you have to write in the exam. So both the ways we are doing, but still we say that it is with a proper citation. Of course, we know when the student is writing, we know that it is from his by-hearted and memorized and he has written. But whenever it is a typed or home-based assignment, definitely we don't know the authenticity, whether it is copied or it is written by himself. So it can lead to assignment it can lead the assignment rejection also, thesis correction, again our manuscript rejection or disciplinary action will also be taken. So if I want to give the example in our universities, when I was working in Sterling universities, they used to directly give 0 for their assignment. It is out of their final grade, it is 25%, where they used to get directly 0, which will drastically affect their grades, marks and grades and the GPA. So it also weakens the originality and contribution of the researcher and create legal and ethical reputational problems. Of course, it reduces the author's ability to develop the independent academic writing skills. If I get a chance to copy paste and copyright, where I will get the independent development, writing skills, can be developed. So that will be spoiled or reduced. So the a journal reviewer notices the manuscript literature review contains several paragraphs copied, which is previously published articles. From the previously published articles, they have identified the similarity. Even if the data and the results are original, they are correct only, original only, the manuscript may be rejected because of writing violates the ethical standards, because it is copied, not properly cited. So the issue is not only the similarity percentage, the issue is improper use of published sources. So if you are not properly using the sources, published citations, if you are not using, then it cannot be considered or accepted. So similarity versus, plagiarism versus the similarity. Similarity is a matched text found by any software. Plagiarism is the unethical or improper use of another resources. If you are using and you are telling that it is from X and Y person, no problem, because you are giving the name of the year, when who's the person wrote and in which year it has written, then it is fine. And that's what they say. Plagiarism is unethical and improper. It is an unethical and improper use of another sources. A high similarity percentage may not always mean a plagiarism. So similarity percentage, I'm telling that from the beginning, it's not the plagiarism. Or plagiarism, all the plagiarism, we cannot say it is. And low percentage may still it is serious plagiarism. It is not only, for example, article is having only, as I told you, 18%, but still all the 18% is a copy paste of a paragraph. It is a plagiarism. It is a unethical way. It's not properly cited. It is not properly quoted. Then it is an unethical way. It is having a high risk. Even sometimes the plagiarism percentage is high, very high, but still it is having a proper quotation, citation, references. Properly it is said that it is taken, formulas, sources is mentioned, table, data which is collected from statistical data which is collected from proper government official websites, properly website address is given, everything is given, then it can be accepted. So it matters how you are ethically admitting how the data is collected, that is matters. Just you keep, and if you are not mentioning the source, then it is ethical practice. It is considered as unethical and illegal way of writing the report. Document which similarity is having 25%, but most of it comes under the references, institutional names, common technical phrases, properly quoted definitions, then it can be a safe similarity. So no problem, because whatever I have taken, of course, it is not mine. It is taken from some other source. Yes, it is accepted. For example, B is having only 9%, but 7% copied as a continuous article and no quotation, no citation, nothing. So what will happen? It is a illegal and it will be considered as a plagiarism. This is considered as a it will be considered as a similarity, not as a plagiarism. So in that case, document B may be more problematic, even though the percentage is low. So coming to the common types of plagiarism: poor direct plagiarism, poor paraphrasing, patch writing, missing citation, self-plagiarism, and figures and tables. See, whatever all these things, it is all about the from where we are taking and how we are reporting. So if you are having a direct plagiarism, if you take the direct plagiarism, you take any lines, but if it is only, if it is just written only the lines, then it is a problematic use. So for example, I have given online learning platform. Suppose this is the original line or original source taken from. If I'm giving only the same, I just copied, no quotation, no citation, then it is a problematic use, an illegal way of, unethical way of using. And why it is problematic? The exact word is copied in my article, because the article which I write, whatever the lines which I write without citation, which means those lines are owned by me. Clear? So we have those lines which are not owned by me, it should be properly quoted and cited. So when I'm taking from the original source, it is properly quoted, and I have to give from what is the original source, from where I have taken, I have to give. So the safer approach is either the quote should be in the exact sentence should be inside the quote, or I have to go for a paraphrasing. Paraphrasing means I have to go for the rewording the content. Poor paraphrasing. So just they will be writing, but just to want to avoid the similarity, they will be rearranging the words and they will be giving. So it is not the right way of paraphrasing. Paraphrasing means writing the same line in a what how you have understood. That is the way you writing the lines will be. So somebody they will be writing only the just rejumbling the words or rearranging the words, and they will be giving the sentence which is not a correct way of paraphrasing. So digital technologies have transformed the ways students access the learning resources. So what they have done, digital tools have changed. So just they have taken replaced the word with technologies with the tools and transformed with the changed and all these things. It is the poor paraphrasing. Some of us they will be changing the words, just taking only the synonyms of the word and just replacing the word, and they will say I have done the rewording or paraphrasing. It is not that. It is not rewording. It is actually it is replacing the words. So why we call this as a poor paraphrasing? The sentence structure remains the same, almost the same. Only few words have been changed. So they have not changed. How this can be paraphrased? So students now engage. So what is this? Digital technologies has transformed the way students access the learning resources. So how we are, those days, how we studied, current generation is not using the education system in the same way. So they have changed it. So students have now engaged the academic materials through technology supports. That's what they want to say. Technologies has transformed the way student access the learning resources. So nowadays it is, for example, this webinar, those days workshop they will say, or they will call it as orientation, staff orientation, faculty development program. 1 week it will be conducted in the university classrooms or college classrooms. It used to conduct. In this recent technology, what is happening? Everything changed. We are doing everything online or webinar or converted into webinar. So that is what they are telling. Students now engage their academic materials through technology supported system that provides faster and more flexible access to the learning content. So this I have written in my own words, but still the idea is from the original source. Still this I have to write with the citation. To avoid the similarities, I have to reword, and still the idea is not from me. It is said by the another author. I have to give the citation. I hope it is clear now. You are, clear with the difference between the plagiarism and the similarity. Once you are clear with that, it is easy for you to overcome the plagiarism and the similarity. How to go for a good paraphrasing? So writing in a better way and with a proper citation and the sources to avoid that. Missing citation. So when you go for the missing citation, it properly they will say it is a plagiarism and it cannot be accepted. The common knowledge, when you go for the citation, anything what you make, it should be with the proper citation. Either copying the same with the quotation citation, or if you are writing, rewording it, at least if it is not your idea, at least give the author name and the year of publication and proper citation. So the self-plagiarism, sometimes I will be quoting my own ideas or my own article, this thing in the another article. Of course, if it is needed, maybe I have to do and I can do it. But it again, I should say that it should be in a proper way. The self-plagiarism means reusing your own published and submitted text without any disclosures. The researcher publishes an article, consumer trust in mobile banking. Later, the researcher submits another article using the same introduction and the literature review without citing the first paper. I can do that. I can give the citation of my first paper and I can do that. But I cannot give the entire literature and introduction, but still I can take some content which is relevant to the new topic. I can take, but it should be properly cited. Even though the author wrote the original text, the reuse may be considered self-plagiarism because material is being recycled without acknowledgement. Anything can be done with acknowledgement from the original source, but not it cannot be without citation and without acknowledgement is not accepted. So even in my article, I can use it, but should be properly acknowledged, properly cited. Patch writing. So patch writing combines phrases from the source with the small edits, small words, small. They will say, change here, change this, English, grammar, something they will give you. So it often happens when the writers do not fully understand the literature. Somewhere here, there, they will be doing it. They will not do the work fully. They will be here, there, they will be writing it. A student writes a paragraph by taking first sentence from one paper, second sentence from another. So they will be taking some sentences and they will be patch all these work and make it as a final this. So what will happen? The student changes some verbs and adds a citation. Still, it will show as a plagiarism. This may still be patch writing because the paragraph is stitched together with different sources from different sources and sources language instead of being written as an original synthesis. From my synthesis, I didn't write, but I have taken from different this one. Just I will be changing only the word for running. I will say fast walking. Instead of writing the word running, I will be say the student is fast walking. Something it is like which will not very professional way. It's just write only the patchworking. This one, it is easily we can identify that. That will also be considered as a plagiarism. So, what are the various plagiarism checking tools? If you see, so there are various plagiarism checking tools. First thing, Turnitin, which is very commonly used and widely used also. So I authenticate and what it is original and then Grammarly plagiarism checker and many other similar platforms are there. So the tools do not automatically decide whether it is a plagiarism. These tools will identify only the similarities. They will not identify the plagiarism. So when I'm checking, I mean, like when I'm keeping my article in these tools, it will not give me the plagiarism. It will not show me the plagiarism. Plagiarism means it will show as a similarity. Yeah, even the cited and quoted information will be show as a similarity. If it is quoted and if it is cited, we call it as plagiarism. So when it is a plagiarism, it will be accepted, universally accepted. When it is a similarity, no quotation, no this one, just only copy paste, it is a similarity which is not accepted. But the softwares will identify, even if it is quoted, even if it is cited, it will accept, I mean, it will identify as a similarity. We as a human has to go for the human judgment and human interpretation. We have to check whether it is a similarity or the plagiarism. So coming before uploading any document, first we have to correct the version of the document. Everything we have to check before going to this. And sometimes what we will do, we will take to easy writing or to use easy typing. Sometimes we take some notes and some keywords and something we will keep down when we are writing our article, rewording or rephrasing our article. So make sure those copy paste information are deleted and check whether the original final version is there for submitting to the software plagiarism checking similarity checking software. So sometimes the small matches, small quotes, all this will be counted as a big number and it will come as a plagiarism. So always keep your final document, removing all the draft and rough work, all these things before submitting to the software. To start the overall similarity percentage, if you see that the largest matches, all the continuous passages, highlighted passages, all this we have to see. So first thing, we have to report, if it is reported as 22%, the source contributes 9% and source 2 contributes 4%, and several other small content is also there. So the 9%, when you look into it should be examined first because it is a higher number or the bigger number. So if it is copied literature paragraph without any quotation or citation, then it is a serious matters. Then we have to rework on it. If it is with the proper citation, it is considered as a plagiarism. Plagiarism is accepted. So acceptance similarities depends on institution, journal, discipline, document type, whatever it is. See, that's what I say. The acceptable level, which we call it as tolerance levels of plagiarism, is as per the university or the publisher policy. they will keep it. So universities may have below 20%, they keep up to 20%. Students can get up to 14, like up to 19%, up to 20%. It's not any problem, but it should not be high percentage. Even 5%, it should not be similarity. Even 18%, if it is plagiarism, it is okay. But for even 15%, it should not be similarity. So the high risk of similarity, a report shows only 11% of similarity, but 8% comes from one article itself. A continuous part will be considered as a similarity, and they have to rework. So it is a serious one, and we have to rework. High risk highlight text includes several sentences with the same wording on structure from another article. Then this is high risk similarity because the copied portion is concentrated, source specific, and not properly rewritten. In that case, it is considered as a high risk and they have to rework on it. It will be rejected. Sometimes our article may be rejected. The low risk, so in methods, in method section, certain phrases or certain words we are using where it cannot be changed. For example, I'm an accounting professor when I'm giving their assignments with the cash flow analysis or with the financial statement analysis. Certain words they have to repeat in their assignments when they are explaining or doing the analysis. Or for example, financial analysis when they are doing, they have to use the ratios. Definitely the formulas, definitely it will be considered as a copy paste, or it will be shown as a similarity, but still we can accept those similarities because formulas cannot be reworded or formulas cannot be written in another way. So that is all accepted. That is called as low risk. Certain phrases, common names, common words where we cannot go for the rewording definitions. For example, the English journals or articles, when they write, they have to use the literatures, poems or poetries when they are writing. They cannot reword it. It has to be in the same way. So those will be considered as low risk similarities and properly cited. So when it is how to reduce the similarity ethically. So problematic sentences, how it can be ethically written. It has to be written with a proper quotes, and it has to be either it has to be reworded and give the citation on the year, or properly it has to be given the quotes and tell it is taken from the proper source you have to give. Citation is not enough. Citation knowledge, the source of an idea. Quotation marks are required when exact words are used. When your exact words, definitions, if you are copying, right, with the not only the citation, you have to give with the quotations as well. If you are rewording, copying a person's idea, concept, you are rewording and writing, then it should be with the citation name and the year. But if you're copying your exact words, a definition or something, quotation is also needed. So paragraphed ideas require citations even when wording is original, and long copied with long copied text with only citation may be still acceptable. Still unacceptable. Use your own academic voice wherever is possible. So you have to use whatever you are learned knowledge. You have to use wherever it is required. So when to use quotations, as I told you, when you are copying exact information or definitions or formulas or any particular thing within quotation, with the citation will be helpful, and it can overcome your plagiarism, overcome the similarities. So AI generated. So now it is new thing, more than similarity than plagiarism. Now AI generated. So most of us to get an idea. Sometimes we are talking with our friends, with other scholars or other colleagues to get the idea. Now we are also depending on the technology, AI tools. We are depending on them to ask some ideas and other things. But if you are asking the AI to write the questions, or sorry, AI to write the literature, or AI to prepare the questionnaire, of course it is not acceptable, and it will be considered as closer to the plagiarism, closer to the similarity, which is we are not using your own intellectual and taking the AI technology to bring out the ideas. So, for example, this is also AI tools also generated information also accepted, but not the entire thesis report or our manuscript, whatever it is. It is not accepted the fully. So they are also given certain levels. We are accepting at our university certain percentage, 25 to 30% AI generated text is accepted only for knowledge gaining, knowledge gaining, understanding, to show their understanding, or to get some any idea generation, or their idea how to bring into the report format. Somewhere we are taking, but as a guidance, or giving a guidance, or if the student is not copying, of course it is accepted, but not fully they copied, it cannot be accepted. So how you have to start, those who are doing or report making the preparing the reports and submitting to this one, first write a draft on your own words, add the citations, references carefully, run into the plagiarism check. Your universities or your colleges, they will be having, they would have purchased the softwares, definitely they will get the access to you, and you can submit your reports and check the plagiarism, how much the plagiarism. If there is high percentage, just review the highlighted percentage where it is a plagiarism, I mean where it is a similarity, where it is a plagiarism, properly. Though wherever it is a similarity, wherever it can be converted into plagiarism, properly convert, and you can resubmit the work, rewrite or requotation or citing properly. Everything can be done, and remove the problematic text and make it in a right way. So, for example, the report is showing 32% overall, which comes 10% is only from the references. Of course, when you are submitting, you will be submitting the entire report with the references. So, what will happen? It will be along with the references. References, definitely it will catch plagiarism. So, whenever you are, that's what we will do. We will ask our students avoid references and submit only the report. And references, we ask them to submit separately in our emails. So that will help them to avoid the similarity percentage. And 5% is a common phrase which is also accepted. 10% references accepted. 5% common phrases is accepted. But 12% is coming from the continuous paragraph, which is copied from the previous literature or previous article or something, which is not accepted. And 5% comes from the properly quoted citation. Again, it is accepted. The main issue is not the total percentage. The total percentage can be 32, 35, whatever it is. But yes, of course, our students, we are accepting. Some students, even they will not listen the instructions carefully. They will submit the entire report to us. And it shows, miss, it is coming up to 40%. Doctor, it is coming up to 40%. What we will do? Then we will say, then we will open, and we will, as I told you, human has to interpret the similarity, plagiarism, and which is considered as a plagiarism, and which can be avoided. All this we will interpret, and we will say, if I delete all these percentages, it is only 12%, and we will write a proper report while we are correcting their assignment. So all this we have to do. A human interpretation is much more important in the similarity percentage. So how we can do it? Take one paragraph from your draft or a sample document, and whether the ideas properly cited, everything, and identify whether the wording is copied or whatever it is, and rewrite one high risk sentences in your own academic words, voice or own academic words, and explain whether the revised sentence still needs citation. So whatever it is you are doing, you have to rework. Once your plagiarism is identified, you have to rework and you have to resubmit it. So I hope that I have given you the insight, in-depth insight of selection of the journal, as well as the plagiarism and the similarity identification, and plagiarism versus similarity, we can say. So anyone, if you have any doubts, of course your platform is yours, and you can ask the questions. So if you have any doubts or anything which you need to clarify, Yes, you can. You can come into the Q&A session and you can ask. And sorry, I have taken almost 15-20 minutes extra because the topic needs the in-depth. By I could see many of them may be the new beginners, researchers. So they want to know how to select the manuscript as well as how to overcome the similarities. Yes, I know because most of us are having this problem. So they will be stuck after completing the manuscript. They will be stuck with the similarities.
Participants, if you have any doubts, please type your questions.
Question? Anything? Sweet Mary ma'am, just
Okay,
let me know.
Meera ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Shall I proceed, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
On